getting to what you're asking is what is Music Beats Cancer, but we're a platform to help innovators raise funds. But in our case, it's not investment money, it's charitable funds. Or we call it passion capital through the public. And we really are a crowd model where we put together, very much like a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe, we put together campaigns that the public can understand and can learn more and sort of cast their dollar, whether it be $1 or $1 million, doesn't really matter. So now people have agency to learn, understand, and be part of the innovation process. And that's just been the vision for what we're about. And music is that way to reach the people in masses.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so tell me a little bit more about this platform and sort of the I guess the projects that are on them. So I guess as I would envision this, somebody's looking at it and going, oh, that closely relates. Maybe I have a family member that was affected by a particular rare disease, and I see somebody working on that's looking for charitable money. Is that kind of a use case for that platform?
Yes, that's basically yes. So we try to create this and create the campaign such that they are going after a particular cancer. We don't say, hey, give us a platform of some, antibody, because that doesn't resonate with the public. What resonates with the
like
public,
a complex platform,
right? Yeah, is something that's going to fight breast cancer, or something that's going to predict ovarian cancer early, or something. So we understand where the pain points are for the public, and we try to speak to that, but through innovation. And it could be, we could have 5 different breast cancer projects on our platform, and they all could be something interesting.
Can you tell me a little bit more about these particular projects? And, I know I've read a little bit about, the I think they call it the Valley of Death, or that funding kit, and sort of how you guys are solving that problem with this crowdfunding platform.
Yeah, Rod. So we spoke about this, and the real pain of being that entrepreneur, right? Any entrepreneur, frankly, whether you're starting a baking business or you're starting a company, a technology company that's going to revolutionize how we fight cancer, right? So the pain point is it's actually not the idea. It's all the execution of it, and part of that is raising money. But that's the experience I had. So I mentioned I was doing cancer research at the National Cancer Institute, and I had the good fortune to have a discovery made in my lab. And with a discovery comes patents, and that gave me the ability to spin out a startup and take the intellectual property, build a team, raise funds, and start that process, and move from being an academic to a bio entrepreneur. And so I did that, and I really experienced just how I guess it seems like glamorous on the surface, but underneath it all, it is there was just no easy way to raise the capital that we really needed. I mean, we raised a little bit here and there, and I realized that in fact, for many bio entrepreneurs like myself, raising capital was this game of like, we're going to cobble 25,000 there, another 100,000 there, then we're going to get that money from that grant maybe, and then we're going to try to kick off some studies, and if those studies are great, then we'll leverage that maybe. And you're living in this very precarious space, and yet we're doing, as scientists, entrepreneurs, we're sort of at the forefront of fighting the war on cancer. We're on the battleground, but in a different way. And yet it's an extremely painful process that it's not for the weary. Let's put it that way. And that's why I started Music Beats Cancer, because I felt the kind of money a startup needs at the beginning is that passion capital, that capital that allows them to continue to prove principle until they can become more attractive for an institutional downstream investor. And this is where it falls apart for a lot of startups. And that's where that valley of death comes in. That's really prominent in the biotech realm. I mean, I feel like in biotech, we're obsessed with the valley of death because 90% of the industry is swimming in this valley of death. And yet the industry, biotech, just caters to that 10% that's doing fine, and they came out of MIT or Harvard, and they they were born out of venture. They got the
connections, all the stuff,
Where the rest of the folks that are just sort of on the ground and scraping the ground and are building from the ground up have no easy breaks. And I really felt strongly that while there was some non-dilutive funding, there wasn't enough, and there wasn't enough that were just dedicated. And when Music Beats Cancer was built, like when we launched it, this was the time when investment crowdfunding was happening. And this was like a to-do, and, you know, the Reg A and all this kind of stuff. And I had an advisor at the time who was doing that sort of investment crowdfunding, which is also really hard. And he said, you should do your organization, but as a charitable crowdfunding. And then there were all these crowd models like Uber and Airbnb. And I said, why can't we just do that for biotech? So that was the genesis of it all.